Today I'm making a very special video because I have received many questions in the past weeks about my subs, especially those who are permanently locked on chastity and they're never going to have sex again, or the CCs, or all of them that our goal is to make them impotent or essentially remove them from the gene pool. And I get a lot of hate from people who are saying, what about children? What is going to happen to those men? You don't care, and so on. And I think it's good to make some things clear today, because it seems that many of you still live trapped in the blue-pilled lie and reality. And you have to understand something. Again, everything on this channel is my own personal belief, but it is correct because it exists like that for thousands of years, and only the last 50 years cancerous positive psychology and Disney psychology came to change it. Not every person needs children, deserves children, or should have children. Especially not every guy. For thousands of years, it was common sense that men who contributed nothing would just die alone without having a woman or without ever having children. Men who didn't have wealth to be able to provide. Men who weren't chads, who weren't tall, masculine, didn't have testosterone, men with micro penises, men who didn't have a title or they didn't have some form of power. And usually for the men who were very poor and they were normal, they had to go to war, they had to go to some kind of campaign. This is how many wars were actually funded, in order to make enough to be able to get married or to be promised women or concubines from those lands and so on. Otherwise, what do you think? How do you think the kings or the aristocrats of that time convinced people to just go and kill themselves for someone else's best interests? They would say, you know something, you're just a deadbeat here, but if we go there together, we are going to give you a salary, you're going to be promoted, and you're going to be able to get married and have children. So in the old times, you had to work for it. And if you had a micro penis or if you were some kind of beta loser, either you had to run beta provider game or you became a eunuch, which was pretty much the ancestor of modern eunuchs and modern men locked in chastity. And I'm the person that promotes new technologies and psychology and medicine more than most, but when something is good, I don't want to change it. And here is what happened. The latest 50 years, pseudo-cancerous fake psychology came to scam those men. It came to tell you, just dream and it's going to happen. You can do whatever you put your mind into doing. And that's a lie, because if you have a micro penis, you can never satisfy a woman sexually. Unfortunately, plastic surgery hasn't been advanced enough to give you a fully functioning big penis. Okay. Also, plastic surgery hasn't been advanced enough to make you 6 feet tall when you're 3 feet and skinny and inadequate. Okay. So when you're being spoon-fed all of those lies from society, you end up trying to go to dates, trying to work on your personality, and 7 million showers and 1 million Tinder rejections later, you end up alone. And then you're asking yourself, how did I end up into this? Same time, society is demonizing everything that would actually benefit you. You are being laughed at if you want to be a beta, if you want to financially provide for a woman. You are being laughed at if you want to be a stepdad for the kids of some other man who was capable of having them, but he didn't want to date the woman. So you're pretty much in some kind of gray area, the twilight zone, where your destiny is to be beta or your destiny is to be a phantom slave. They make you feel guilty for wanting it, but same time you'll never be good enough to be an alpha. And this is where I come into to tell you the truth, that I've said it in my previous video, there is nothing wrong with being a beta, there is nothing wrong with being locked in chastity, and there is everything wrong with insisting to reproduce when your genes are not good enough. In my opinion, becoming child-free or choosing to be removed from the gene pool is a very good choice that you can make to prevent your future children, especially your sons, from ending up like you. Because Being extremely short is genetically being passed down. Having a micropenis, same. Having hormonal disorders, same. Having mental illnesses, same. So why exactly do you need children? Do you love your children and you want to actually doom them in such a lonely existence? Your sons are going to be the creepers posting on our incels 20 years from now. And you were never meant to have children anyway. In this life, if you want to see it from a Buddhist way, you are meant to be locked in chastity, to be a beta provider, and to serve a woman, or a goddess, or a princess, and make yourself useful, to give meaning into your life. Because your life has meaning when you embrace what you truly are, not when you are divorced from reality and living in a delusion. So what I do is I make the decision for the men who are weak and they serve me to be removed from the gene pool, which means a vasectomy, which means locked in chastity, which means anything that each of them needs and wants to pursue. Like I said, this is a relationship of freedom. Them serving me, they can change their mind any moment. Not that anyone changes their mind, but I'm just saying. They can change their mind any moment and they can opt out any moment. And when I first started, many of them did. They said, I'm going to be alpha. I deserve sex. And they came back crawling and crying because the women rejected them again. Because no sane woman can actually stay satisfied with a man who is having a 3-inch penis and he is 3 feet tall and he doesn't know how to behave. All of you that you're messaging me and you're sending me hate and you're not ready to accept that you're beta, can you truly be alpha? Do you know what alpha even means? Let me tell you a simple example. An alpha guy can actually physically defend a woman if someone attempts to attack her. If it comes to a guy trying to sexually assault your woman or your wife, can you defend him? Can you even outrun him? Or are you going to be there pissing your pants? If the answer is pissing my pants, then I'm sorry, it's time you start running beta provider game really, really fast and really, really hard and stop the bullshit and cooperate. Because if you don't even do that, do you know what's the most useless being on earth? A broke loser with a micropenis. You can't even do that. So stop sending me hate. I'm doing a work that is much, much needed here. I'm helping people be themselves instead of lying to people and saying just visualize and an amazingly beautiful woman one day is going to love you for your golden personality. So if you're watching me right now and you don't know where your life is going, maybe it's time to promote and to embrace the child-free lifestyle when you make the ethically responsible choice to not bring any more hormonally imbalanced, mentally ill, short, defected men into this world when we already have so many of them and they don't contribute anything. And to start working towards maximizing your assets and being useful and serve a goddess or a princess. If you don't like it, that's not my problem. Therapy is always there. Positive psychology is always there. You can go into a scammer who is going to tell you, just smile, just approach women, and it's going to happen. It's never going to happen. Even if you work insanely on your dressing style, on your personality, you become witty, you get the latest haircut, you get anything you can get. When it comes to sex, you are going to be bad. Okay? And all those women who tell you size doesn't count, do they date you? Next time a woman says to you size doesn't count, ask her, would you date me then? Would you date a man who has a 3-inch penis? Because it's very easy to dance outside the dance floor. But those women, they say it because they think they help you, and in fact, they doom you. So if you're watching today and you wait a sign to embrace the beta lifestyle and to accept that there is nothing wrong with being beta, there is nothing wrong with being locked in chastity, that's the sign you were waiting for. Okay, it's much, much better and it's going to make you so much more happier to live as what you are than to live in a fakeness, to live constantly trying to be alpha, constantly failing because it's physiologically impossible and constantly hurting yourself and wasting the women's time. Thank you very much for watching.